My two new PCs. Hi everyone, Leo Notenboom here for askleo.com. So I recently replaced two old and very different machines with two, identical new computers. And I've become quite enamored with these two new replacements. Now, I want to be clear, they're not for everyone, and yeah, some of the details I'll share might be a little bit geeky to digest, but if you're about to replace a desktop computer, the upshot is that this class of PC might be worth your consideration. Mini-PCs. Now, they're not to be confused with mini-computers of years gone by. Mini-PCs are just that, very small PCs. You can see an example of what I mean in this picture. This is an image of one of the two machines I just purchased and installed. That small gold box in the middle, that's the PC. It's smaller than the monitor, it's smaller than the keyboard. It measures roughly 4.5 inches square by 2 inches high. Now, these machines pack a surprising amount of computing capability into a very small box. While they're not as expandable internally as a traditional boxy desktop PC, they do include oodles of USB ports to which you can connect a plethora of additional devices, HDMI ports for display, and typically an actual Ethernet port and wireless hardware for connectivity as well. Now, this size, this form factor has been around for a while. Apple's had them for quite some time. But this was my first realization that this might fit some of my needs very nicely. What I ended up getting were two mini PCs from Geekum, specifically the Geekum AS 2025 edition mini PC. Now, I usually don't spend a lot of time going into detailed specifications about these guys, but this specific machine, like I said, I have two of them now, includes an AMD Ryzen 5 7430U 12-core 4.3 gigahertz CPU, an AMD Radeon RX Vega 7 graphics capable of 7680 by 4320 with two HDMI out ports. That's actually integrated. I believe it's part of the integrated chipset that includes the CPU. It has 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM, upgradable to 64 gigabytes. It has a 512 gigabytes M.2 NVMe SSD. Again, it's M.2, so you can upgrade that as well. It does include a true Ethernet port, a Wi-Fi connection, and Bluetooth. And it has 4 USB-A and 2 USB-C connections. There's even a headphone jack and an SD card slot. As it turns out, this specific, what I just described to you, is actually a middle to low-end offering, but it was all I needed. I paid $329 for each. I figured that they would each handle the jobs I had in mind. Now, the computer I just showed you is my NAS wannabe, network attached storage. Technically, it's not a NAS because things, I guess. But its primary job is to connect 11 external hard disks and make them available to other machines on my home network. So, yeah, it's storage attached to my network. Hence, network attached storage. The mini PC replaced an aging HP desktop machine that honestly had seen much better days. Now, the old machine had been running Ubuntu Linux's Server Edition, meaning that there's no graphical user interface or GUI, only the command line. Now, while the Geekum came with Windows 11 Pro pre-installed, my first act was to install the latest version of Ubuntu Server instead, followed by the Webmin Server Management Package. That's what's here on the screen right now. This actually allows me to manage the server remotely from the other machines in my home without needing to walk down to the basement or do silly command line stuff at the machine. It's something that I've used for quite some time, and you can see here's an overview of the machine, the kinds of things that are going on, the servers that it happens to be running, and so on. It is a very, very capable management interface for Linux-based servers. Now, after I installed Linux, I plugged in the external drives, most notably that big box you see on the left-hand side. It's a Saybridge 10-bay USB 3.2 Gen 2 SATA docking station, 10 drives on a single USB connection, configured sharing in Linux, which is just as complicated as it is in Windows. And my new, not a NAS, was up and running and more responsive than ever before. And it also gave me a chance to clean up that workbench. Trust me, that area shown in the photo, it was a lot messier when I had the older machine with its guts hanging out all over the place. Now, the second mini PC, I got to repurpose what I called my backup laptop. It was an early generation framework. It had been dedicated to the various scanners I have in my office. You've probably seen them behind me. There's the flatbed scanner with some stuff on top of it right now. Behind me, there's a slide scanner. And further off screen is a document scanner. That laptop had been dedicated to being the software or being the central point for those three scanners. After I ran the Geekum in my basement for a couple of months, it dawned on me that another one would be absolutely perfect for this role. And here's a picture of what it looks like today. This is a drawer that's literally behind me, and it has the Geekum on the far left, a screen, a keyboard, a mouse. What you don't see above it are those three scanners. A Fujitsu ScanSnap document scanner, the Epson Perfection V600 flatbed scanner, and a PlusTech Optic Film 8200i slide and negative scanner. On this mini PC, I completed the Windows 11 install and installed the assorted scanning software. Here's that machine running Windows 11, and indeed, you can see here I've got the ScanSnap software ready for my document scanner. I've got the Epson software ready for my flatbed scanner. And then I've also got here in the notification area Quick Scan, the software for that slide and negative scanner. Again, Windows 11, running these tools, and also running Dropbox, because each of these tools then is configured to drop the scanned files into a Dropbox folder that then automatically shows up on my other machines. Now, removing that laptop, of course, left me with no screen. You'll notice that in the photograph, I do have a screen for the replacement machine. It's a small 11.6-inch portable monitor that connects using just HDMI and is powered via a USB-C connection. Sometimes remote desktop, which is what I'm using here to show you what's on the machine, it just doesn't cut it, particularly when you're booting and just configuring the machine, and you actually do need a real screen. Now, why am I telling you all this? Well, I was impressed by the capabilities of these so-called little machines. They'll never replace my primary desktop machine. I need more expansion capabilities for things like higher-end graphics cards and video editing. But I can see them being perfect for more typical users. As I said, mine are medium to low end, and they're still very, very capable. One aspect that amused me, if you will, is that they each came with a mounting plate. In other words, they're designed to be mounted on the back of a monitor to free up even more desk space and simulating, I guess, an all-in-one computer. If you mainly browse, do email, stream, or work in documents, a mini PC might give you all the power you need without the clutter. Now, I will absolutely admit I am an outlier with unusual computing needs and use cases. In a sense, though, that goes to show you some of the flexibility of these machines. Depending on your situation, you might not need a big desktop or tower computer anymore. For me, these little machines turned out to be wins. They're quiet, efficient, affordable, and more than capable. For updates, for comments, for links related to this topic and more, visit askleo.com/186688. I'm Leo Notenboom, and this is askleo.com. Thanks for watching.